right? If they're unable to join, I mean, I can only let people in that that come. So, I mean, what I suggest is just share the link with them, because I mean, it works for some people, so it must be the right link. So the link is on. Also, you can direct them to the to this to D2L, because the link is right there, right? They can highlight that link and click, and they should be able to get in, because maybe they're trying to use some other link. That's the only thing I can say. So the idea for today really is to look at this idea of a website, and what I'm going to look at here. Maybe you can just see this. I'll try and bring it to the middle. But what we've got here is a folder. Then you're supposed to make a folder like this. So we make a folder and we put a web page in it, and we put index.html. Index.html, that is going to be our home page. That's kind of like it's kind of like automatic for HTML. When there's a file called index.html, when your browser finds that file, it will automatically open it up in that folder. So it's the default for the home. Now, what we've done here is we've created 3 more folders as a way of organizing our website. We organized our website so that there's a pages folder, and I'll just go into that pages folder. You see I'm moving to the pages folder. The pages folder's got 2 files in it, which are both HTML pages. That's why it's called pages folder. The images folder has got our images that we use in our website. Notice over here on the side here, I've got a browser open, which is actually showing our website on the index page. The index page would be home. That's why I got a picture of a home there. And then there's a CSS folder, and that's where we put all of our styling CSS programming language stuff. And maybe let's see if there's anybody still in the waiting room. Yes, I've got a couple, so bring them in, bring everybody in. Yeah, there's Yahya. You can come in there. So the home page is the index. The index should be in what we call the root. Now, when we talked about the root, think about a tree which is upside down so that the root is at the top. But everything comes out of the root. Out of the root comes all the other branches. Think of the branches as being our folders. And so the idea is everything comes from the root, and then our branches, and branches can have branches inside of them, right? So we call this a hierarchical structure. Hierarchy because we have something on top commanding something below it. So you can think of the root as commanding the other. So everything goes through the root. If we want to use this web page, we have our home, which is going to be in the root, and we go from the root to everything else. Now I'm going to show you how that works. This is the website, and I'm actually opened in the browser. I have opened in the browser the I better move this out of the way because I keep having it by mistake, because I've got so much black on my page. It's all the same, right? But you can see here that the tab in the browser is showing that this is my site. This is the home page. If I click on these other things, this is where my pointer is now. That is the navigation bar. And the navigation bar is using images that are clickable. And you'll see inside the HTML how we make clickable images in a minute. But you'll see if I click on this image, that takes me to the page, which is now called My Courses. So that's why we have that image there that kind of looks like courses or something. Yeah, there we go. And then if I click on this image, that's going to take me to another tab, to another page, which is Hobbies. And Hobbies looks like that. So where are all those things happening? Well, I just moved that out of the way, didn't I? That was in the, yeah, where are you? This one. So all of this is happening from here. The index, we're not at the index. I'll move back to the index, but the index.html is in the root. And what does it look like? Now, I had this is hobbies. Index looks like this. It's fairly simple. And this is all the code for the index, right? So you can see there's not much to it.
For any lab, this.
Sorry?
I'm sorry for interrupting you. This for any lab, lab 3, you mean, or lab 0, C03?
This is for the lab that I just put up today, which is called the website practice.
Oh, yes, yes. Okay.
Okay, so it's not for lab 3, it's for website practice. You can see lab 3 here, right? That was the stuff we did last time. That was all those tables, because it's still in my editor. So the index has just got some simple stuff. That's the navigation bar. And I told you a minute ago that I'd show you, we're using images. The person clicks on the image, all right? So the image is shown by using this image tag with the source is referred to. Now, that'll only work because we know where the images are. We put all of the images in the images folder. And so it's easy for us to write these image tags because we know where all those images are. We just have to go to the folder. Now, there's another little bit about the navigation which is important there. We've got a dot and then a slash. The dot stands for from this directory, the current directory, and I'm in the root, go to the images directory, and that's where you're going to find all these images. That's what that means. The href means where do we go? When we click on this image of the courses, then then the program in the browser is going to take us to the courses.html file, which is in the pages directory. But we have to go from where we are now in the home, the current directory to get to those. Now, the thing is, this has taken up all my screen. So there we go. So there's our, so this is looking, as I said, this is looking at, okay. What's, you got a problem? Everything okay? I'm going to mute you because unless you're saying something. But I'm joining people there. So that's the index, which is our home. And when I made this answer for you, I did the index first. I always do the index first, right? And then you can copy all the code from the index and put it in the other ones because some of the code is the same for all of them. Most of the body is the same for all three pages because there's not very much in these pages and most of it is just this navigation and they all have the exact same navigation. Well, actually, I tell a lie, it's not exactly the same. There's a difference in the number of dots. So when you do this, look at this very carefully and look at the difference in the number of dots. Whereas in the home page, I had 1 dot and then images. In both of the courses and the hobbies page, I used 2 dots, and that's because of the navigation. That is that when we're in the pages folder, if we want to get to the images folder, first we have to go back up. We call that going to the parent. How do we get to the parent? We get to the parent by going ... Single dot means the current directory. 2 dots means go back to the parent. And so from the pages directory, so I'm clicking on the pages directory now, you can see I can't see any other folders. If I want to see the other folders, first I have to go back up to its parent. This up arrow means go back up to the parent or up towards the root. But I'm only going to go up 1 layer towards the root to my parent, and my parent then is in the root actually. And from the root, then I can find the pages, or I can find the images, or I can find the CSS. So that's what this means here. If I'm going to find the image from the page, because I'm in the courses is found in the pages folder, I'll have to go to the parent, then go to images. Likewise, when I click on this, I'm going to want it to take me to the home is going to be the index. From the pages folder, the only way to get to this index is by going up to the parent. See, this is, so if I was editing courses or I was editing hobbies, the only way to get to the index is to go up. See, I'm going up to the parent. And so that's what these 2 dots here mean. But look, for the courses and the hobbies, I only got 1 dot. Why? Because when I'm in the pages directory, these are in the directory with me. So I use the current directory, 1 dot, to go to courses and hobbies. Now, that part is the same for all 3 except
If we didn't put any point, what does that mean?
it won't work if you don't put points. The points are very, very important. That's what this lesson is all about, really, is about how many of these points do we use, etc. So that's a good question. It will not work without them. This only works if we create our directory structure like this. You must have a folder which has an index in it, and then it has to have 3 other folders. Then each of those folders has to have the required file in it. So the CSS only has a CSS file. The images folder has all 3 of the images files. And then the pages folder has 2 pages in it, the hobbies and the courses. And then the root has the index. And then these dots will work. Dot dot means we have to go to the parent. Single dot means start from where we are. Does it make sense now? You kind of have to. You kind of have to do it for it to make sense. Anyway, so
one dot is the current page. 2 dot go back.
Not the current page, the current folder, because a page would be an
folder.
Yes, where the page is. So okay. Yes, so the dots are referring to what folder you're in. Yeah, very good. But okay. And so we see the folder we're in now is this. This folder is the CO3 whatever folder. Can I move this? It's kind of hard because what I don't like about Zoom is it takes over your screen, right? Yeah, now I can move it. Because, you know, every other application that you use, when you're not using it, it's away. So I think there are people waiting to join, yes. Trying to get those people in. I don't see any now, but we have 16 people in. So I'm just going to expand this so you can see. We actually have a folder that I've called CO My Site. That would be our root. The root folder here is CO My Site. Now notice when I double click on the pages folder, now it's telling me that I'm in the pages folder, which is underneath the CO3 My Site. Now, when I click up here, that means go back to the parent. Now I'm in CO My Site. Now I can find the index and I can find the other folders. If I go to the CSS folder, it tells me I'm in the CSS folder, which is a child of the CO3 My Site folder. So CO3 My Site is the parent, but it is also the root because it doesn't have any real parent. I mean, its parent is this other thing, but it's not part of our website. Now, the hobbies and the courses, if you look at the contents of those 2 files, they're almost exactly the same. All of the navigation is the same. The only difference is the actual content of the page. So hobbies has got, I put a unordered list for hobbies, and courses has got an ordered list. So if you look at that, how does that render in a web browser? When you're on this is we can tell this is the home page because it says My Site. When I click on the link to go to courses, it traces me to courses, and there's that ordered list. And then if I click to go to hobbies, we can see the unordered list. Unordered list, ordered list, and that's basically the only sort of content you need to put in there. We've got a little bit now. Well, that's not the only content you need to put in there. Let me make this a little bit smaller.
Sir, we will find the pictures in the D2L.
I didn't put the pictures on D2L. I can if you want. You want those pictures? I thought you could find how those pictures. I just did a Google.
Do we put the same pictures?
You want? I'll put them there if you want them. You can have
yes.
them. I haven't put them there yet, but I will. Okay. I'll put the
Because
picture.
if we will not use these pictures, we should use another pictures, right?
Yes. Now,
So we will use the same. Okay.
all right. So what I'm going to show you now, I'm just going to go back into this. So yeah, the hobbies and the courses are almost the same. Um, the only other thing to sort of consider there is actually the CSS. So if we go in the CSS, the file is very simple actually. So I could, well, should just double click on it, right? Because it's saying it's going to just use brackets. That's fine. Or else we can use Visual Studio. Why didn't I do that? Let's use Visual Studio and open it. Yeah, now, this body thing, you don't need that. All you really need in your CSS file, which by the way is called style.css. It needs to be called whatever we called it in the link, and I'll show you the link in a second. But what I've done here, you see the width 50 pixels and the height 50 pixels. What that does is that makes it so these images in the web browser, so these images on the page for the navigation are all the same size. Now notice we've got some other images. They're actually the same image, but without that constraint on it, without the CSS. Without the CSS, the image will be big. But with the CSS, we're able to get the images to a small size so that we can use them for icons on the web page. So that was the point of the CSS there, is so that we could style those icons. It's kind of about it there. So yeah, so you've got to create these 4 files. You've got to create the index. That's all the code for the index there. You can see that. You can take a screenshot of it if you want. There's you've got to create the, this one is, what is this, hobbies or courses? And it's almost the same, right? There's a couple of more lines to it, not much.
So when will this recording be up on D12?
I will put this recording up before I go home. So 20 minutes. So there is already a recording on D2L to explain how to do this, but I'll put this up as well. Then the style is very simple. I mean, you don't even need that body stuff. I didn't explain the nav and the image. What this means is for the image tag inside a nav tag, that's why they're on the same line but without a comma between them. What that means is image inside of nav. If it was a comma between them, it would mean the image and the nav tag. But because there's no comma, it means that only when you find the image inside a nav tag. And is that true? Well, yeah, look, do you see? We've got a nav tag and then we've got an image tag inside of it. So for these image tags that are found inside of nav tags, they will be styled in this way so that the image shows 50 pixels by 50 pixels. That's what it means in here. The image will be 50 pixels wide and 50 pixels tall. So that's done there. The other stuff is pretty straightforward. It did ask you to do a div, and the div starts here, but we haven't actually done anything with the div, so you could even leave that out. But if you open a div, you need to close it. So div tags come in pairs. You must have 2 of them. There's a div, and we always use a name with the div, because the div is used to divide up the page so that we can work on different parts of the page. But this page, we haven't really done much. We could have put another div around the nav, I suppose. Right, so that's kind of it. The courses and the hobbies are almost the same HTML. It's almost, you'll see that it's almost exactly the same. The only difference is the nav bar in course and hobbies is exactly the same. They're exactly the same. And also the style sheet. Now I didn't mention this too much, right? We have in the head this thing called the link, and what that does is it's telling the browser, when the browser opens this up, that it's supposed to get its instructions from this file called style.css, which is found in the CSS folder. Now, from the courses and from the hobbies, that requires you to go to the parent first and then go to the CSS. But if you look at the link in the index, it's only got one dot. And that's because the CSS can be found very easily from the, sorry, I got the wrong sort of thing here, sorry. I thought I was, no. Well, I was, yeah, all right. So, yeah, the CSS from the index, CSS means start from the home page and then go to CSS folder. And so that's why there's only one dot in the index. But in the courses, if you're in a courses, you're in courses found from page. So first you have to go to the parent, then you can go to the CSS. So that's why this link is different for the index than it is for the pages in the pages folder. And that's the same for all these things, right? The index is different than the ones in the pages. We see that here and we see that there. So I hope that helps. That's about it that I want to talk about that, unless there's any questions.
Sir, we will put this practicing website practicing under website folder and file in Dropbox.
Oh, very good question. Thank you. What you should
Or
do,
no?
yeah, what you should do is, remember I told you that I want you to put your student number in and name in each one of these. Well, what you're going to have to do in HTML if you want to put your student number in there is you should put what I'm doing now is a comment. And how we do comments is like that. We do those symbols, and then you just put your name. You could do that there. Now, for this, do that for all of these, right? In each one of those, somewhere inside the HTML, you should do that. Okay, that you should have that comment.
Then we should upload in D2L for website.
Yes,
folder
and I'll show you that in a second. In the style, we don't do it that way. In the style, if you want to put a comment in the style, the comment is different. What you're going to do for a comment in the style is you're going to do a slash, star, and then star slash. That's how we do comments in CSS, just like Python programming. All right, so how do we upload our work? So when we've got our name in all of those, we will go to we'll see the root, and then we'll go to the parent of the root so that we're looking at the entire website, whatever we called it. And then we'll right click on it and send it to, okay, so I've actually got it here, right? So I'm gonna do that again. Delete this. So once we've got our website, everything's in there how we want, navigate out to the parent of it, right click, and send that to a compressed folder. And the compressed folder will be a zip file. It's this thing here that you upload to D2L, all right? Must upload a compressed folder. Now, that is very, very important now. And so, I can't hear. I have to restart my PC. Mohammed, that's okay, because the video will be loaded later. This is very important that you do this.
Sir, can you go again to the how we will put our name? We will put
like this. In the CSS, you do a slash star and then put your name.
Yes.
In the
Yes.
HTML, you do it like this.
Okay.
All right.
Good.
So
Thank you.
when you've sent that to a compressed file, it's this compressed file that you upload. That's very important that you compress it, because if you don't compress it, all of your CSS will be lost, because any file that's got CSS in it, that's this stuff here that styles it and makes it look good. Any of that will be taken out, stripped out of the file by D2L. When you upload to D2L, D2L has a security on it which won't allow you to put raw raw CSS in. So whenever it finds some CSS, it takes it out. But if you compress them into a compressed folder, then your CSS can come. Otherwise, it won't. Okay? Any other sort of questions? That's what I want you to do. So you got a few things to think about. You got 2 assignments. I have a look at those, and you've got this little
Sir,
exercise
can
here.
I say
Yes.
something?
Yes, you
Sir,
can.
can you make the deadline for lab 3? Can we have more time, like on Saturday or Monday?
Yes. All right. Lab 3.
Okay.
Right? Yep.
Can I upload it in Sunday?
Yeah. All right.
Okay, thank you.
I'll make that change. Saturday.
Sir, can you go back to the zip file? Because I'm not
I
sure
will
what it's
upload
gonna
it in
contain.
Saturday or Sunday
Which one?
for lab 3.
You want to look at what do you want me to go back to?
I'm sorry, can you go back to the zip file?
Div.
Zip.
Oh, right. Yeah. Okay. The zip file,
You
which we were
will
just looking at.
click
We were just looking at here, right?
click, then you will send to compressed file.
That's right. I'll do it again if you want. So if you're working away on your website and you finished everything, you're happy with that, go out to the parent so that you just see a single folder, which has got your whole website in it. Right click on that and send that to, well, you can WinZip it, or, well, I use WinZip, or else you can do a send to. Well, either one of those. But send to is there, it's free, comes with Windows 10. And that'll actually create this zip file. This is the thing that you upload. Okay. Did I answer that right? I hope. Any other questions?
So, sir, I can upload lab 3 on Saturday or Sunday. Is it correct?
Yes, that's okay.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, welcome. Any other questions?
No, sir. Thank you.
No, sir, thank you.
Awesome. That means that you understand it?
Yes, sir. Of course.
Awesome. Oh, that's good. Okay. Well, we've only got a few minutes left anyways. I think it was telling me that oh, did I not record oh, no, this is, sorry. I didn't mean to do that. That's my other recording. So, recordings. Yeah, so where are we? We're in Zoom. What's happening with Zoom? It should tell us anyways. Soon we're gonna finish. Any other questions?
Yes, sir.
Go.
Hello. Yes, sir.
Yes.
I just joined the section lately.
Sir, we have time for submitted this thing also? Okay.
Yes, you do. Okay, you just joined and?
Yeah, I just joined the section lately. I'm just gonna need time to submit lab 1, 2, and 3.
Okay, take your time. When you submit it, just put a note on it that you just joined.
Thank you.
And you'll be okay. All right, so that works, but you still have to put your name in.
And for this
right?
website, the practice, can we put it in Sunday or Saturday also? For the
Yes, okay.
website practice?
Yeah, all right.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Sir, website. What we got here in the chat. Website lab is due Saturday. Yeah, okay, yes. That's what that's what, I think that was Bushra, right? I was just talking about. Or was that Amani?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. I hope that makes some sense to you. And if you don't, if you need some help, you can call me. I had one student come see me today. I wasn't quite ready, but I'm ready now for any students that come.
Sir, what about assignment 1 and 2? You put something in Dropbox and in homepage.
I put something in Dropbox. What do you mean? Yes, I did.
Assignment 1 and assignment 2. We have until, I think, 18.
Oh, yes. Yes, that's correct.
What is
Assignments, those are different than our little labs. So that's a little bit of a work. You have to create a website for you. And so it's more specific. It's going to be, you're going to write your hobbies and what courses you do and stuff like that. Yeah, so yeah, but you should be able to do it now because it's stuff that we've been doing in these lessons. So have a look at that. Yes, good point. Thanks for pointing that out, Bushra. Oh, sorry. Not Bushra. Who's that?
yes, thank you. Yes, I'm Bushra.
Anything else? Because it is going to stop soon. Well, that's good.
See you, sir.
All right. So if there's nothing else, I will. I'll stop the lesson in a second.
Have a nice weekend, sir.
Yeah, you guys too. I wish my weekend was
Thank you.
starting now. I got classes tomorrow. All right. Thanks, then, students. See you then.
Welcome, sir.
Bye
See
bye.
you, sir. Goodbye.
Bye, sir.
Bye.